This is IGN. The best the franchise has been in years. This is your IGN review of Terminator Zero by Hayden Mears. Netflix's Terminator Zero is disarmingly good. The franchise has seen better days, and with Genesis and Dark Fate suggesting that the appeal of this particular war between man and machine is waning, it's easy to dismiss any new Terminator-related project. But Zero, a slick, brutal anime that elevates its premise with earnest ruminations on family, fate, and whether humanity is capable of being saved, could be a turning point. Zero initially flip-flops between 1997 and 2022, showing us the contrast between the world that was and the one that will be. And that's nothing wild or new for Terminator fare. The whole franchise kicked off with a flash forward after all, but critical to this specific story. Terminator Zero's exploration of morality is ultimately superficial, but because its gaze is fixed primarily on Malcolm Lee's family and legacy, it counters the shallowness with painful, complex, messy dynamics that reward fans for hoping for something beyond the franchise's usual fare. Lee's oldest son, Kenta, played by Armani Jackson, is the closest the writers come to driving home humanity's ugliness. Fiercely, rigidly anti-robot, Kenta is a time bomb, and the show never clarifies whether or not his nanny secretly being a benevolent cyborg complicates his stance. We see a whole lot of robots being awful, but not nearly enough about human failings, which weakens the moral ambiguity on which Terminator Zero hangs everything. Initially, this quasi-profundity might feel like a send-up of the Terminator franchise's recent MO. Showrunner Mattson Tomlin isn't shy about asking whether or not humanity deserves to survive, but he does shy away from a meaningful interrogation of these ideas. He keeps the dialogue between the humans and the cyborgs fairly surface level, flirting with questions of survival without truly delving into them. Forgoing depth for streamlined storytelling isn't a flaw, at least it doesn't have to be. But Tomlin and the writers do enough philosophical setup to make their ultimate refusal to commit detrimental. Terminator Zero ends on pro-human platitudes like, "we love, so we live," that does disservice its characters, themes, and world building, and it's difficult not to imagine what this could have been if it went deeper. Luckily, Zero is largely more invested in its characters than its message. Malcolm is a tormented knot of a man who just wants to do right by his family, while his children, namely Kenta, wrestle with their anger at his negligence. The Lees are far more intriguing and representative of Zero's deftness with its interpersonal dynamics than Aiko. To her disadvantage, but to Terminator Zero's advantage, the story quickly loses interest in her. She may be our Sarah Connor / Kyle Reese figure here, but she doesn't leave as much of an impression as either classic Terminator protagonist. Then we have the Terminator itself. Zero keeps to the franchise's insistence that its titular robot be as frightening, formidable, and uncompromising as inhumanly possible, and it nails this. The cyborg plaguing the people and timelines of this particular story doesn't physically distinguish himself from the T-1000, with the possible exception of his crossbow forearm, but as the muscle for Zero's big, scary, existential musings, he's ruthlessly effective. Focused and potent, Terminator Zero is a return to form for the iconic sci-fi franchise. It may not be as profound as it thinks it is. Stronger characters and deeper moral wrestling would have taken it to another level. But the action, score, and cast make this anime inspired by James Cameron's blockbuster franchise a worthy addition to the cyberpunk genre. It's the best Terminator has been in years. Terminator Zero's IGN score? 7. Thanks for listening to IGN. My name is Tony Jackson, and for the latest Terminator updates, visit us at IGN.com.
Spoken Layer.